Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yal Shai Bashem Makak with that Shalom to the 144,000 the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to go into the book of Joel, chapter 2, in the NLT. So I was watching a little, I just jumped on this. This is a GMS Infotox channel 12. The Aftermath of Babylon the Great, because I was thinking about doing something on Babylon, and it was this is Apostle Ramlab, and he was going through different precepts on the destruction of Babylon. But one of the precepts that he went to, let me see if I can get it back. Give me a second. Okay, now I don't know what this is all about. Okay, let me see here. This might, yeah, the day after. This is on the day after. Yeah, bugged a lot of Edomites out. And when it was a TV movie, and they were interviewing Edomite men mostly, and they were crying. The day after is talking about after the missiles, hit America. It was kind of like a docudrama. It was actual drama, with actors in it, but they made it in this document type style. Let me see. He did mention, and he went to Joel 2. Revelation 9, because I'm going to probably go into that.
Down to 4.
Okay, so anyway, let me just go right into it. Let's see where the Spirit takes me. I really didn't have nothing planned, but I wanted to hit something, so I said let me just go and do a scriptural breakdown, as we call it. So it says, Joel 2, it says here, the headline, locusts invade like an army. Showing you that they don't know what's going on. It's referring to the missiles. Like I said, these Christian biblical scholars, they don't understand these end time prophetic scriptures. Now, if they would watch the late great Planet Earth, Howard Lindsey, he breaks it down. Zechariah 14 and 12. First time I heard that was by him before I came into the truth. So anyway, let's go ahead and read it. And I may go to the the commentary page. It says, the first verse, sound the alarm in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. It's talking about this is for the elect of Israel. Raise a battle cry on my holy mountain. Let everyone tremble in fear, because the day of Yahweh is upon us. It is a day of darkness and gloom, a day of thick clouds and deep blackness, suddenly like dawn spreading across the mountains. Right, because the missiles are going to spread across the governments, mountains of governments, like the dawn. The missiles are going to pass the missiles are mainly going to, the main place is going to come from, but then it's coming from different directions. Remember, you got the NATO nations, the EU nations, you got China, but the main nation is Russia, which is the uttermost north, which would actually be, when you take a world map out, as a matter of fact, let me do this. See if this is a world map. Okay, so you got, the hell is all this? So you got America over here, Babylon, this is Babylon. And you got Russia over here. This is why this is considered from the north, because this is north of, actually it's northeast. Because it's east of compared to the United States, it's east of the United States, east, northeast, but the scriptures say north. So missiles are going to come from here, and they already have the missile technology to reach. And now from here to Middle America, that's about a good 5,000 miles. These missiles can reach 5,500 miles. And remember, you're going to have missiles coming from these NATO nations. You got China over here. So it's going to be something. Going to be something. Knowing that these things shall come to pass, I'm merely paraphrasing Peter, what manner of person are ye to be in all holy conversation? So we're supposed to be talking about this. Satan won. If not Satan won, but Satan too damn sure got the power to, that's a hypersonic missiles which cannot be picked up by radar. That's why the scripture said this destruction is going to come as a thief in the night. You got Joe Rogan. He's now talking about the scriptures and the end times, because he's probably a Jake. He's one parent goes back to the Southern Italians, the other parent go back to the Irish. So he most likely is a Jake. I believe he's a Jake, a shit talking Jake, but he doesn't understand the scriptures, and he knows about the Israelites because he who is this? What's this guy? Jason Burmis. This was maybe 2-3 years ago. Jason Burmis, 4 years ago. And Luke Radowski, which we ran into Luke. He came out to the camp when we was on YouTube. He came out to this camp, and he was out there with somebody else for a good hour and a half, and it was on YouTube. And this had to be sometime in 2007, 2008, maybe. I'm almost sure that it was on YouTube. I'm not so sure, but I'm almost sure. But he came out there, and we told him, and we basically told him he was an Israelite, even though he's Polish, because you had Israelites in Poland. So he was on there with Jason Burmis, and they were talking about. I believe this was during the time when they had the shooting out there in New Jersey. It was what part of New Jersey? Somebody help me out. I know New Jersey, so I forget exactly. Wasn't Hoboken. Believe me, I know New Jersey well. I mean, I've been through New Jersey hundreds and hundreds of times, so I know all the areas of Jersey. Damn, what was it in Jersey? You got Bergen line, Bergen. You got Secaucus. You know, this is right over the bridge, over the GW. You got Passaic. But where did that shooting take place? I mean, I'm not gonna go crazy looking for it, but it was around that time. And it was around that time where the news was talking about the black Hebrew Israelites. We got to do something about these people. It was around that time. They were talking about us for about a good year and change. It would come up. But you had Jason Burmis had his show, and he had Luke Radowski on there. And I don't know if Joe Rogan was on there, but either Joe Rogan was on there too. I doubt it, but they had mentioned Joe Rogan, and maybe he was on there. So they mentioned the Hebrew Israelites, the black Hebrew, and Luke Radowski said, "Them guys, I ran into some of them. I spoke to them for a while, and they told me I'm an Israelite. Can you believe that?" Oh, he remembers us. He remembers us. Because at that time I didn't know, you know, back then he was Luke. He was Luke Skywalker, and they said they gave him a cease and desist. Don't use Luke Skywalker because that's owned by Disney or whatever, or George Lucas. So then he called it, but he used to call himself Luke Skywalker. But then he could no longer use that term or that name, so he just calls himself Luke Radowski. But anyway, he definitely knows about us because he was out there with us for a good hour and change. And this is when Alex Jones was in the city. I believe he got arrested. And there was some people that was with one of these guys that was cool with Alex Jones, one of his staff or whatever. He came over and he told Luke Radowski, said, we got to go, you know? But he would have stayed out there longer. You know, we were going into a lot of Illuminati and a lot of... If we can find that tape, there was a lot of... I would love to find that if we did videotape it and do a... what do you call it? You know, listen to some of it and then stop it. Not interview, not take, but thoughts, reflections, or whatever. But anyway, there was a lot said. He knew a lot of things. And I remember I kept calling him baby. I said, "You're baby Alex Jones." I said, "All right, baby Alex Jones." But anyway, so here it is. We know the future of this place is fire. This is Russia. This is where the first missiles are going to be shot off from Russia. Then it's going to cause these nations that possess missiles, European nations, shoot missiles. And this is maybe 2,000 miles. 2,000 miles. If Iran, the Arab nation, they have missiles, they're going to shoot them off. So anyway, let's get back into it. Second verse is a day of darkness and gloom, a day of thick clouds and deep blackness, suddenly like dawn spreading across the mountains or the governments, a great and mighty army. Now that army are the missiles. When the Most High says that the Most High, Yahweh, of hosts. Host means armies. And one of his armies, and one of his armies is his mechanized army, which are the ICBM missiles. So they're not going to miss because the Mossad is going to be in the midst of the missiles, making those missiles go. He's going to guide those missiles over here, pursuant to Ezekiel, either Ezekiel 38 or Ezekiel 39. I'm not going to go to it. Around about the 17th verse. It said like dawn. You know how the dawn, twilight, then you have dawn, the day dawning. You see it's dark, and then all of a sudden you look on the east and you see the the sun kind of coming up and the brightness coming up. It says like dawn spreading across the mountains. What's going to spread across the mountains? The missiles. A great and mighty army appears. Nothing like it has been seen before or will ever be seen again. So now, High Priest Ariah taught, the first time he taught that, I couldn't see it. I said, nah, it ain't talking about, he's talking about Israelites. We're going to come as an army. No, it's not talking about that. It's talking about missiles. And this is how you know it's not talking about Israel, because it says an army appears, nothing like it has been seen before, or will ever be seen again. Meaning, you're going to see the Israelites again in the kingdom. Fire burns in front of them. In front of what? What's the them? The missiles. And it says the same thing in more of a parabolic form in Revelation chapter 9. It speaks about the 200,000. They're like lightning, the horses, and with them they do hurt. I may even go into that. Fire burns in front of them, and flames follow after them. Meaning the flame is coming from the back of the missile, the delivery system. Ahead of them, the land lies. What land? What land lies? That's the land. Ahead of them, the land lies as beautiful as a Garden of Eden. Behind them is nothing but desolation. Not one thing escapes. And you know all the references to what the missiles can do. So before the missiles hit, the missiles are going to be coming over the mountains, like dawn over the mountains. So they're going to shoot over all of these European nations. And all these news stations around the world are going to be televising it. And this is going to right here. You got people here that are living, walking, breathing, getting married, giving in marriage, doing what the hell they do, committing adultery, court in session, you know. So that's in front of them. So when the missiles hit this place, what is the missiles going to leave behind? A desolate wilderness. They look like horses. They charge forward like war horses. They look like horses. They charge forward like war horses. So now I got to go to. This is for you new cats. Let me do this. Revelation 9. Let me go to 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two two woes more hereafter. One woe is World War One. The two woes hereafter is World War Two and World War Three. World War Two took place already. That prophecy was fulfilled, and we're still waiting for World War Three. The Sixth Trumpet Army from the east. And you can say it from the east, the northeast. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High. This is King James, by the way. Should read in NLT. Saying to the six angels which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. The four archangels are bound in the great Euphrates, river of Euphrates right now. They're stirring things up. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour in the day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. We know the third part is the wicked, sons of the wicked. And the number of the army of the horsemen. Now remember, it said they're like assembled like horses, like war horses, meaning horsepower. It's not talking about actual horses. Yahushua is not coming back on an actual horse per Revelation 19. He's coming back in the ship. So horse just represents power. Army of the horsemen with 200,000, which is 200 million, and I heard the number of them. So an angel said in the Hebrew, 200,000. And thus I saw the horses in the vision. And them that, and see, John was privy to a lot of things. He was the only one that was really privy to the MOTB. That's why these other Israelites can't get it, because they want it in a couple of places. Like the ICBMs are mentioned countless times in the scriptures, in the Old and the New Testament, prophetically. So they figure, well, look, you got to give us at least 10, 20 scriptures, 20, 30 scriptures on the mark. And there's other scriptures that kind of go to it, but there's only one scripture you need, is Revelation 13 and 16. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and of brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. It represents the warheads. And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these three was the third part of man killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths, which is the warheads. Because that warhead, the head of the missile is going to disintegrate or pop off, and then you're going to have multiple warheads that's going to shoot in various different directions. It says, for their power is in their mouth, which is the warheads, multiple warheads, and in their tails, which is the delivery system, the rocket. For their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not, meaning you're going to have them European nations, the other Arabs and so forth, they're going to be popping shit. And when we come down like Thanos and the X-Men and Kal-El with this superpower. They're gonna try to fight us, and we're gonna have a fun beating the fuck out of them. And then they're gonna realize, look, we can't deal with these people. We just might as well submit. And that's what you're gonna have to do. You're going right, and all you nations, if you're not an Israelite, your future is slavery, and that includes you, Esau. See, the super elite knows they're going into captivity, and they're scared to death. Why do you think they passing a law, Trudeau, in Canada? If you're teaching the Bible, you can be arrested. If that is successful, that's going to come down here to America. But let it come. It don't matter, because the elect are already sealed. I said that a long time ago. So if they cut everything, you can't teach no more, listen to these scriptures. If you're part of the elect, you already got it. You're already sealed. The time of, famine of, now people say famine of the word, and it's not famine of the word. It's famine of hearing the word. See, Jake listens to the word, but they don't hear the word. Or hear the word and don't listen to the word. See, all these entertainers know about the Israel. All of them. Name one entertainer. Name one sports figure. They all know about us. They all know us by name. They know IUIC, ISPK, GMS, Sakari, whatever group. They know. Okay, so let me come on back. Look at them as they leap along the mountaintops, which are the nations. Listen to the noise they make, like the rumbling of chariots, because it's going to make a lot of noise. Like the roar of fire sweeping across a field of stubble. Ooh-wee! Like the roar of fire sweeping across a field of stubble. Like wildfire, or like a mighty army moving into battle. Fear grips all the people. Every face grows pale with terror. Their faces shall gather blackness. In the KJV, in Isaiah 13, it says, their faces shall be as flames. And the word face means facade. Let me do this. Their faces shall be as flames. Excuse me. Face means a facade. All buildings have a face, a facade. When you come up to a building, the first thing that you see is the facade. When you run into a person, the first thing you look at is the face of the person, the facade of the person. So America has a face, the American way, right? So it says, their faces shall be as flames, meaning the facade of this place is going to be on fire. The attackers march like warriors and scale city walls like soldiers. Is parabolic, forward, They march, never breaking rank, because they're guided missiles. They never jostle each other, never bump into each other. Each moves in exactly the right position because they're guided missiles. They they break through defenses, Nahum 3, without missing a step. Ooh-wee. They never jostle each other. Each moves in exactly the right position. So some of these warheads, a certain number is going to be destined for New York State. A certain number is going to be destined for Rhode Island. A certain number is going to be destined for Maine. A certain number, a big number, is going to be destined for Texas, California. So there's a number of missiles are going to be in different places because you got small nations and great nations. I had to throw that in there. You got small states and big states. Texas is a big state. A big state. I know I've been through Texas. So it's going to take more missiles to destroy Texas, the state, than it is for a Maine, or like a Vermont, or like a Rhode Island, or even a Connecticut. It says they never jostle each other. Each moves in exactly the right position. So they're destined for each state. They break through defenses. Go to Nahum chapter 3. Read the whole chapter without missing a step. Remember, the Most High is a consuming fire. He's going to be in the missiles. Not one of them is going to go off course. None shall miss their mark. They swarm over the city. What city? A city is as big as its citizens. U.S. citizens. They swarm over the city. Is that city or cities? Over the city. And run along its walls. They entered all the houses, climbing like thieves through the windows. They shall come as a thief in the night. And the heavens and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth quakes as they advance, and the heavens tremble. The sun and the moon grow dark, and the stars no longer shine, because the missiles covering anything that's in the heavens. Any light that's from the heavens. And it's going to happen in the daytime. Everybody's going to be doing what they're doing. The chip would have already been made mandatory. Some of us would have been dead. Some of us may be in prison. Yahweh is at hand, as it is the head of the column. He leads them with a shout. This is his mighty army. And they follow his ooh-wee. And they follow his orders. Not one shall break their ranks. The day of Yahweh is an awesome, a terrible thing. Who can possibly survive? If you're not beamed up, that's your ass. You're gonna be strapped in that Tesla. You're gonna be strapped in that Tesla. You're gonna be strapped in that 5,000 square mile Tesla. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. a call to repentance. Now, if it changes up, you know what? 12 verse. 12 verse. All right, let's read a little bit more. If the spirit changes up, I will stop it. It says, that is why Yahweh says, turn to me now. Ooh! So, from the first verse to the 11th verse, he's going into destruction. He said, look, all this is going to happen. So 12th verse, that is why Yahweh says, turn to me now, because you don't want to wind up in this Tesla while there is time. Give me your hearts, meaning give me, you become a part of this. Come with fasting, weeping, and mourning. Don't tear your clothing in your grief, but tear your hearts instead. Because you can fake it by tearing. I believe in you. You tear your clothes, you throw your hat down. That all could be an act. You got to come from the heart, inside, the inner man. Return to Yahweh, your power. So who's going to return to Yahweh? The elect. The ones of you that was called and not chosen, you're going to be in that Tesla strapped in. Good. For he is merciful and compassionate. Toward who? The Israelites. So slow to get angry and filled with unfailing love, he is eager to relent and not punish. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Bishop Nathaniel said if you're going to burn in hell, he's going to have forgiveness for the Israelites. The ones that die in this Tesla, strapped into that Tesla, you're going to come back any damn way. And if hell was an actual place that your spirit burnt in, you're going to be the first one in line. And your whole IUIC crew, you're going to jump in the fire. So you better hope, which there ain't no spiritual hell, man. You're scaring the people. That's a fear tactic. That's what cult leaders do. They fear people. They put the fear on them. Who knows? Perhaps he will give you a reprieve. He's going to give you a break. He's going to dismiss the charges without prejudice. Look that up in law. Dismiss with prejudice, dismiss without prejudice. Sending you a blessing instead of this. Ooh, I love this. NLT. He said, who knows? Perhaps he will give you a reprieve, sending you a blessing instead of this curse. Lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. Perhaps you will be able to offer grain and wine to Yahweh, your power, as before. What does that mean? You're giving your heart to the Most High, making yourself a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to the Most High. Romans 12. Blow the ram's horn in Jerusalem. Announce a time of fasting, meaning get yourself right. Now, you guys that came in there, you turn your back on the power, you went back in the world, you might as well just forget about it. You ain't coming back. You ain't coming back. You ain't coming back. You gotta get strapped into that Tesla. Blow the ram's horn in Jerusalem, announce a time of fasting, call the people together for a solemn meeting. And that's when we go out there, we do these videos, we're calling the people together. Who's being called and chosen? The elect. Gather all the people, the Israelites, the elders, the children, and even the babies, call the bridegroom from his quarters. The bridegroom is the Messiah. And the bride from her private room with the bride. Let the priests who minister in the Lord's presence stand and weep between the entry room to the temple and the altar. Let them pray, spare your people. Woo-wee. Yahweh, don't let your special possession become an object of mockery. Don't let them become a joke for unbelieving foreigners who say, has the Most High of Israel left them? And well, that's what they're saying. Yahweh's promise of restoration. That's Acts. Right, the visions. That goes into the visions. Then it goes back into the 20th verse. I will drive them. I will drive away these armies from the north. I will send them into the perch wastelands. I'll show you where the perch wastelands is. The perch wastelands is right here. And that's a desert. They're going to be facing the Euphrates. You see? You got scholars saying that it's up here. It's not up here. It's going to be here. The valley. This is the valley of decision right here. So when the missiles hit this place, the U.S. military forces, the various branches, they're going to be out. They're going to be out of here. They're going to be over here in the Middle East. Boom. Those in the front will be driven into the Dead Sea. It's not the Dead Sea. And those at the rear into the Mediterranean. The stench of their rotting bodies will rise over the land. Surely the Yahweh have done great things. Don't be afraid, my people. Be glad now and rejoice, for Yahweh has done great things. So what group of the Lord's people looking forward to this? The elect. Regular Jake ain't looking forward to this. So anyway, I'm going to say shalom because I got to the point that where I wanted to get to. You know? Really from the first verse to the 21st verse. So with that, I'm going to say shalom on to the next one. Shalom.